everybody, and welcome back to No Sleep Till Midnight. I am your friend, Gabriel Walker, and I'm joined with my friends, James.
No.
Kristen.
Hi.
Noah.
You're just doxing us now?
Yeah.
Reese.
Yeah.
That is his name.
My name.
Oh, how are you guys doing today?
I'm chilling. How are you?
Worse now that I've been
chill.
doxed.
That's
I've
what
done
I'm
this
doing.
every
That sucks for
episode.
you.
Have you said our last
for
name
you
every
guys.
episode?
I don't think he
I don't
has.
know.
I don't think he has.
No.
Oh.
It was a
switching
bit
up
in
this
Drunk
week.
Minecraft because we were refraining from saying James's last name, but literally in
Yeah.
every single description we have James's last name and your last name.
And
Yeah.
we can't do our 500k subscribers James last name reveal.
Or we can just go back, delete everything, and then bleep it out whenever we say it. So we can do that instead.
Yeah.
And we can also still do the OnlyFans face reveal.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
Yeah.
At 10 million subscribers
Yeah.
Get
on the
big
channel that
Sneak
doesn't
money.
exist.
I'll do my butt reveal too.
Oh,
I feel like that's going to come before 10 million subscribers, though.
The butt, yeah.
probably on a video.
Upload it to Pornhub.
Yeah.
Become a verified user.
Absolutely.
Should just like sit on a photocopier and then upload a picture of your butt.
Or see if your neighbors have
jeez.
like a Bluetooth or like a Wi-Fi connected printer, and just like print out a picture of your ass from their printer.
Oh no.
I think that's an Olin Rogers bit.
Yeah, that's where I got
I
it from.
Oh, that's so funny. That
Do you
dude's.
think? Oh, I was just saying. Do you think?
I was gonna say he's funny. Go ahead. Go.
I was gonna say. Do you think I'm established enough as a human being that I own a printer, let alone a photocopier?
Are you even human?
Printers cost like $20, $30.
Yeah, they're
It's
not
too
that
much.
expensive anymore.
And no, I'm not human.
Did you fill out
What
the
are
Thanks
you
captcha?
for
then?
asking. End of story.
He can't fill out the captcha.
Yeah, I can't. I honestly can't.
He can't select the fire
Captures can't
hydrants.
relate. They're too hard.
Yeah.
Perfect
They bend
segue
in my
there,
mind.
James.
Unfortunate.
What?
Perfect segue.
Yeah,
Can't
exactly.
relate.
I know.
Yeah.
That was completely on purpose.
Nice.
Of course.
So we wanted to talk about
too good at
like
this.
some stuff that common things that we can't relate to. So I think James is going to be going first.
Oh,
What's
really?
something that you can't relate to?
When did we establish I was going first?
Because you said
Just
you
like
couldn't
2
relate.
seconds ago.
Oh, well, that, yeah. Well, that, I mean, I was, I may or may not be kidding about that one. We'll find out at the Is James Human reveal at 10K subscribers.
Can you relate with breathing, James? Can you breathe?
No comment. I just do it just to make you guys feel more safe around me.
It's like how people who can't feel emotions pretend like they have emotions. He just pretends to breathe.
That's just like, that's just
James,
being
a
a sociopath.
psychopath confirmed?
Yeah. Maybe. But
Honestly.
yeah, I literally was just thinking about it, and I'm not like, because I know people have them, and you know that's fine. Like I just can't relate to it. But family group chats,
Ew.
like my family's just not functional enough for that to have ever been a thing.
My family has
My f-
one, but it's not like for like memes and funny stuff. It's like if we all have to just like let someone know, hey, we need like to go to the store to grab this or whatever. Like it's like for
Right.
function. It's not for fun.
Yeah, like
Yeah,
that makes sense to
we-
me.
Yeah.
I don't
We
like
had
it.
have a group chat with my extended family to like just mostly to like plan like holiday parties, and the one we've been using for like a little over a year now. Until recently, it was still called Christmas 2019 until like a week ago.
Nice.
And my aunt changed it. It's like, it's probably time to change this, right?
Nah,
So
Maybe.
yeah.
it's always
Objection.
Christmas if you believe.
Yeah.
I guess you could say I haven't showered since 2019.
Is that what you can't relate to, showering?
Could never be clean, bro. Couldn't be me.
Yeah, that's actually though like family stuff. Like my family, I can't relate to being close to my cousins at all. Like I barely know my cousins.
I kind of feel that.
Like I only have cousins actually on my mom's side of the family. My aunt, uncle on my dad's side don't have kids. They have cats. But like the oldest of my cousins is I guess your guys' age. He's as old as my younger brother. I'm 5 years older than all y'all except for James.
Yeah, I don't know what you're talking about.
But like both my uncles went through a divorce at the same time, and they just kind of dropped off the face of the planet. And like, so their kids, my cousins, just stopped showing up to things as well because, you know, their dad didn't take them. And
right.
So like, I think I've had cousins I haven't seen in probably a decade at this point.
Damn.
For me,
if not longer.
For me, when it comes to my cousins, I only see 3 of them, and that's very occasionally. That's like at family functions, and even when they're only there for like a couple hours, and then they leave because they have significant others, and they go over to their family's houses and whatnot. I have 2 cousins that I can count on my hand the amount of times that I've seen them in the last like 10 years. All my cousins on my dad's side have not spoken to them in over a decade. Just like my dad's side in general. Just I have not really spoken to them in over a decade.
Yeah,
that's crazy.
That's actually exactly where I'm at with my dad's side. Like I just have not heard from them or like reached out to them.
Like
okay.
My 3 cousins, one of them is like 4 years older, the other one's 5, and the other one's 6 years older than me. So like I can only relate to them so much. One of them is having a kid in the next couple months, I think.
So you're gonna be an uncle?
I'm already an uncle.
That's his cousin. That's not an uncle.
Well, yeah, I am an uncle.
Shut up.
You just be a second cousin.
Yeah.
God damn.
You dingus.
Shut up, step cousin.
I do have an older sibling that's 10 years older than me that I haven't really seen in the last like 6-7 years. I spoke to her a little bit recently because she has a son now, but yeah.
A whole ass son?
I'm 10 years older than my youngest sibling, and then she's 12 years younger than my older sister, but we all pretty much still live in the same house. I mean, I only live at home because I'm here for an internship, but yeah.
Just keep trying to make yourself sound better.
Excuses, yeah.
I have a wife and we have an apartment in another town. I just live here temporarily.
The more you explain it, the more fake it sounds.
You wouldn't know her.
She goes to another school.
Bro.
That's what
It's true. My wife does go to another school.
Having a wife
She's
can't relate
Mormon.
to that.
Same.
Yeah.
Can't relate.
To what? Being in Canada? What? I actually don't know what you're talking about.
I said having a wife can't relate to that.
Oh, yeah.
I've been single
I've never
for the
had a
past
wife.
like 3 or 4 years.
Yeah, I've been single for about 2 now. Fun times.
Oh, it's only just begun.
You guys make me feel like
Guilty.
Yeah, well, no, not guilty because like I've been single for maybe like 2 months now, and I already feel like it's been forever.
Yeah.
Yeah. Don't talk.
I think
With my
the
situation,
longest I've been single. I think the longest I've been single has to have been like 5 years.
I mean, when you were like a kid, right?
the longest I've been single was like
between
5
15
relationships.
years.
Between ships. between relationships.
Gabe gotta go. For
Hell yeah, dude. Everyone's looking at that 5-year-old just like,
girls, you know what I mean?
wow, he's got the biggest toy.
That sounds really bad.
I'm not sure that's gonna fly.
Editor, cut that and then isolate it. Let's get that blown up on Twitter.
And then post it as this. Yeah.
You fools, I am the editor.
Expose yourself on Twitter.
Oh no.
It canceled on Twitter.
I'm not even on Twitter.
Let's get WTFK canceled as soon as we start it.
Hey, I said that from day
you
one.
don't wanna
I
be
said I
on
wanted
Twitter.
the scandal from day one.
Guerrilla
Catch that in
marketing.
Minecraft.
Hell yeah. Do we get a gorilla for guerrilla marketing?
No, why not?
Yeah.
Monk.
I mean, go
Let's
for
just,
it,
you know what we're gonna do? Let's just pay into all of our stocks so they go up, and then we'll sell them to ourselves. Is that how the stock market thing went? I did not look into it at all.
I don't want to talk stocks. I'm sick of stocks.
There it is. I can't relate to all those people with the stocks right now. I don't understand.
Well,
like
because it's
somebody
such a
lost a
billionaire
bunch of
boys
money.
club. That, like, it's purposely confusing so that only people who have a business degree know how to do it.
From what
Well,
I
Jordan Belfort did
understand,
it.
basically, the common folk right now are putting the rich people in situations where they continuously lose money, which makes me very
Right.
So what?
Yeah, it's quite
My
funny.
understanding of what
It's quite
happened
funny.
was that people bet that GameStop would lose money. So that's what's called a short.
GameStop.
Games.
GameStop.
That sounds like a news article about it.
or like a game show about the stock market.
Yeah.
That sounds like when you tell your grandma what store to go shop
Hey, I
at.
got to have these diamonds hands somehow. But so the billionaires bet that GameStop would lose money and that the stocks would go down. So they bet billions on that. In the hope,
Reddit
but
saw that. It was
Reddit
like,
saw
no.
that and said, and they bought a bunch of stocks,
shit
causing those stocks to skyrocket
Overnight.
so that they gained money. So all the money that the billionaires bet on them losing is gone.
From what I understand,
The only good thing that Reddit's ever
from what
done.
I understand how that works is that when you're betting against, you're basically borrowing a stock, and then like by that time, when that time period is up, you need to give it back. So if it loses money, you get to keep that extra money because they only get back whatever it's worth. But if that stock is so high up that you can't afford to pay them that amount of money, you are forced to borrow it again. And since there's no ceiling at how high stocks can go, it can get just worse and worse and worse to the point where they cannot pay it back whatsoever. And that's what's happening with GameStop with million and billionaires right now.
It's beautiful.
I didn't realize it was that like reverse like counterplay to stocks. I thought it was all just you buy it and you have to sell it. I didn't know you could like bet against stocks.
Yeah, well, that's what happened. Like, if you've ever seen or heard of the movie The Big Short, that's all about the housing crisis and like the four people who saw that bubble crashing and they bet against the housing market, which was normally a very stable thing. Like nobody would bet against the housing thing. So they knew something was going to happen before it happened. And what they did with it was to make money.
Gotcha.
That's how people became like millionaires overnight with the Reddit situation. It's because a group of people were like, hey, yeah, let's put all of our money into this in order to stop this from happening.
Yes, sir.
Damn, I should know more stonks.
I think it went from like $4 to like 200 or 300 overnight.
Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah. Shit
Yeah.
was
Yeah, it was-
whack.
And they
Honestly, that was a lot of fun. From just as
Yeah, that was good. I mean, I'm no investor, but observing it
Yes.
was quite funny.
and
we
then
like the stock.
I think it was Robinhood, which is like an app where like the common people can use to buy stocks and trade and everything, made it so then you could not buy GameStop stock and you could only sell
Stock.
or hold because the rich people are trying to make it so then they'd sell their stocks back. So then the common person would lose money.
Yeah, I did see that.
It's been like this whole like game-changing thing for the stock market because like if a bunch of people on Reddit can just decide, hey, we're gonna buy this stock for like no reason just to send it up. Like,
Except if that's the exact same thing that all the other rich people were doing, but they were doing the opposite by shorting companies and forcing them to go out of business.
it's like
Forcing people to lose their livelihoods.
it's a snowball effect because if more people bet against something, it's going to lose stock, and then if more people support something, it's going to gain stock.
Yeah.
Here's hoping that more things like that happen soon. You know?
Yeah.
All I'm gonna say is that since the gamers just did that for them, GameStop better up their product now.
Honestly,
like let's.
I was at GameStop earlier today, and the shit got worse. To be honest, everything is like, it's not like the prices are like the same, and they still have the same deals and stuff. But they just, at least at the one here, they just don't have good stuff.
Things
right
are
now.
actually looking up for GameStop.
Maybe the employee
Like,
just
they've been bringing in a lot of good people into their management. A lot of their like bad management have left in the last year. They brought in ex-president of Nintendo, Reggie Fils-Aimé, in
Really?
as one of their board
Oh
of
my
directors.
God.
They have
Reggie.
like the creators of the website Chewy as part of their like board of directors now, and they like created a massive like pet store website in the span of like a year or two. That's
Right,
like
yeah.
outdone like PetSmart and everything in a very short amount of time. So like I think they're like changing stuff with their website and also like changing what they have in stores and whatnot. It's a slow process.
From what I was
but-
hearing, that a lot what they want to do is making it like a one-stop shop for gaming, like in general. So like not only doing console gaming, but also providing like computer parts and stuff to build PCs and
Well, they
doing
teamed
all
up
that
with
kind of stuff, too.
Microsoft recently.
Did they?
Yeah. So I think they made it so then like they would get like a cut of the money from like certain Xbox sales and whatnot, whether it be like consoles or controllers or games and everything for it. And I think they're going to be housing like a lot more Microsoft merchandise and probably like PC parts and stuff like that, like you're
That'd be
saying.
that is much one.
I just want. Maybe it's too far off from the joke now, but Gabe said a one-stop shop for gaming. I just want to go. Imagine a concept of a game stop.
It's almost like that was the plan.
Yeah.
You see what I did there?
No, I did it. You just.
I think they used to be owned by Barnes and Noble.
Really?
Like, not even joking, yeah.
Oh, I like
I
Barnes and
love
Noble.
Barnes and Noble.
Barnes and
I
Noble
could
is
spend
fun.
all day in Barnes and Noble. Back in when I was going to community college, me and some other guys started a writing club, and for a while we would meet at Barnes and Noble in the cafe. We just talk about writing and stuff. It was hard not to leave with books every time I went in there.
Gabe started the Doki Doki Literature Club. Confirmed.
Yeah, I am Doki Doki Literature Club.
I'm actually
You are?
trying to
Have
get
you
back
seen the
into
thumbnail?
reading.
It's him,
John
John
Yeah,
Doe.
John Doki.
That's his writing alias.
Yeah.
So what about let's go back to the topic at hand. What are some other things you guys can't quite relate to?
Enjoying sports.
Yeah.
I can't. The only sport that I actually like and that's actually entertaining to watch whenever it's on or if I have to go to like the games or hockey games. Everything else is boring.
Hey,
Yeah.
Hockey's fun to
man.
watch.
It's just
I
it's
don't
the
know.
same monotonous thing over and over and over again.
I like sports. I never go out of my way to like fully watch them, but I mean, like when it's on, I'll be like, oh, cool.
I
Background
think
noise.
for me, like sports, because like I enjoy watching sports. A lot of what makes it interesting is the storylines going on behind the scenes. Like like who's winning, who's losing, who's going against who, and like that's what makes it fun. Like the Super Bowl, this was like Tom Brady's 10th Super Bowl.
Yeah.
And
I couldn't even tell you who played at the Super Bowl this year. I don't know. I literally don't know.
But you know what's crazy is Tom Brady has won more Super Bowls than any other team has won individually. So like two teams have won 6 Super Bowls. Tom Brady has won 7 on 2 different teams.
Yeah, it's because he switches teams and then he brings that team to the Super Bowl.
He plays for Tampa.
He plays for Tampa, but this is his first year at Tampa. He spent 20 years in
the Patriots.
On the Patriots, yeah.
I know nothing about sports. The only sport I know somewhat about is tennis, and that is the most boring thing to watch. I agree. I don't like watching tennis.
I love tennis, but I agree.
Golf is the most boring thing to watch.
Probably, actually.
Honestly, golf's a good background
True.
thing to have.
It's just calm.
Like if you just have like people over, and it's just on the TV, you know.
Don't they?
No one's really paying attention to it, but like you look over every now and then and see someone putting. It's like, oh, cool.
But
actually, fishing is probably the worst sport to watch on TV.
What if they get to monster though?
I think it's funny.
But you get to see
funny
big
that they
fish.
have like poker and whatnot.
Answer
on TV.
me that.
Like, oh, we get to watch a bunch of guys stare at each other and look at their cards.
Yeah. But what's funny about that is when someone like bets really hard and then gets like super cocky and then it's like a premature celebration thing.
Yeah.
And then they lose.
And someone like beasts on them with a straight flush or something. And
that's entertaining.
Yeah. But you know, Gabe, you talking about the storylines. That's the one thing I hate about Western media sometimes is how they have to put a storyline behind everything. Like, I don't know if you ever watched Ninja Warrior or now American Ninja Warrior.
Oh yeah.
But no, so I used to watch just Ninja Warrior where it was just like the original show in Japan, and I love that so much more because it's literally just like someone comes up, they run the course, they fuck it up, and then they go to the next person. Like when you watch American Ninja Warrior, it's like this person has been training their whole life. Their family is at home with cancer, waiting for them to return with the money so that they can get the bills. And then the guy falls on the first stupid platform. Like, why the fuck did I just learn all about this guy's life when he's not even relevant? Like, shut
want
up.
You to be invested.
I don't care.
True.
I just want to see people run and hit their heads on stuff and then sometimes make it.
So what you really want is Wipeout.
No, Wipeout. No, Wipeout does the same thing.
No,
what you need is MXC.
No. What I really...
Have you ever seen MXC?
Seen what?
It's I forgot the full name of it, but I'm pretty sure it was well, this was the American version of it. It's MXC, but it was a show called Takeshi's Castle back in like the 90s or early 2000s. Yeah, in Japan. But what they did is when they brought it to America, they kept everything from the original show, but the only thing they did was they overdubbed it with just like really stupid dubs of what people were saying. So like someone would walk up, and it was Wipeout before Wipeout was a thing. Like they would walk up and they would like wave and say something, and then the voiceover would just be like, I just peed my pants, and then they would just run. It was so great. Like the stunts in it and stuff were so much better. It was so funny.
Can we talk about how interesting Japanese game shows are? And how like
they're
nonsense
amazing.
The slippery stairs is my favorite.
There was one, I don't know the name of it because I just saw a clip of it, but there was one where basically they would have people try to eat random objects in a room.
Yeah.
And like sometimes it would be chocolate. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It's that one clip of this dude like slowly biting a door handle and it breaks off and it's chocolate and he's like, huh?
So it's like MXC would have they'd have like a bunch of doors, you know, and like some you'd run into, they wouldn't break, and then some you'd run into, they'd break, you go through. But like there'd be some that would just have like some big old just sumo guy behind it, and if you broke it, he would just go fucking ham on you and just like pick you up and throw you backwards.
I love that.
It's so funny.
I love that.
Nice.
I'll have to see if I can find it on Amazon. We can like all watch it together. It's so
We'll
good.
do a watch party.
Yeah.
It is. It's on there. I just googled it. MXC.
Oh really?
It's on Amazon Prime.
What's some other things
my
that you guys
God, it
can't
is.
relate to?
Having Amazon Prime.
Wow. It's a good one. Yeah. I can't relate to that, but something I can't really relate to is actually I never owned a Game
What?
Boy,
Oh no.
and I never played any
my God.
Pokemon
That's so
games.
sad.
Get
Game
out.
Boy was my life.
Yep. I was not
I
a
had
part of
four.
that.
I had
Okay,
four
you do
different
it
Game
playing-
Boys.
I think we're gonna need to do. Reese doesn't know anything about Pokemon.
We've already
or-
discussed
Yeah.
that we would.
Oh yeah.
I put
This is-
so
yeah,
many
this is
fucking
the thing,
hours
indeed.
into Pokemon Black and White. I broke the time clock that like keeps track of your
Oh my
hours.
God.
999 hours and 59 minutes was where it capped.
Oh my god.
Wow.
Yeah.
I don't think I
Jeez.
really played anything newer than Diamond.
I'm gonna
Black
you
and
know,
White
I-
is the best Pokemon games. Don't at me.
Incorrect.
Black and White.
That's Emerald. Emerald
mean-
and then Fire Red.
Owen fucking sucks. Third gen sucks.
I will say
I
I have played every
disagree.
single Pokemon generation.
I have two.
What's your guys' favorite Pokemons?
Ooh.
I have multiple.
I like Flygon a lot.
Umbreon's my favorite. I don't know if you could tell.
Glaceon?
I also like Sylveon.
Sylveon's good. Glaceon's good.
Yeah.
I loved Eevee. Eevee is fun, but I also love
Why are we all naming Eevee
Growlithe,
evolutions?
Rowlet is pretty cool.
Growlithe and Ninetales.
Oh, I do like Alolan Vulpix though. That's a cutie.
Oh, yeah. I just like old man games, like all first gen.
Yeah.
Whatever, man.
Whatever.
I mean, first gen's good.
I also loved Onyx. Onyx was dope.
Still
a bunch
first
of rocks.
gen.
Oh,
Just a
another
bunch of
one
rock.
thing.
Agron's cool.
Okay,
there you go,
one
that's
thing
third.
about Onyx. If you've ever played second gen, I think there's a no, it's Heart Gold Soul
I think I
Silver
know what you're
specifically
talking
because
about.
it's a double battle, and those were
Yeah, I know what you're
introduced
talking about.
until third gen, I think. There's a double battle that you can have with a couple, and the dude sends out an Onyx, and the girl sends out a Cloyster. So it's like a dick and a badge.
Amazing.
I love that.
Can we get Reese drunk and have him name Pokemon? That would be
Oh my
good.
god. Imagine.
We should have Reese name every single Pokemon
Oh my
without
God,
knowing
yes.
what they are.
Oh my god.
Start with the
See,
first
I'm a
gen
noob,
because that's
though.
150.
That's 151.
I could get
should- oh
I could get a decent amount of the first gen.
Wait, we should do a
probably,
Kahoot and we can all test because I've only played Pokemon Go, so I only know the Pokemon that are in the game in that app.
Most
so
of
I
them
don't
are in
know-
that game.
Yeah, I know a lot of them now, but like,
Yeah.
Still.
I mean, I know that we're talking about Pokemon mainly, but like the fact is I never even owned the
Right.
Game Boy.
Yeah.
So
oh,
like I also I also never played any
Oh my
Zelda
God.
games.
What did you do?
I did all right. Listen, okay. I didn't have any sort of gaming device till I was like
What?
8,
And now you're the pro gamer.
and now I'm a pro gamer, exactly. But until that point, like I think the first thing was my mom bought a Wii for the
course.
family, and then I got a Nintendo DS. Had that for a while. Then I had an Xbox 360, and then I had an Xbox One, and then
Did
I
you
built
have
a PC.
Nintendogs?
And I did not.
I mean, for the record, neither did I.
But like, all right, I'm gonna clear my name here, like 100%. I had a friend on the school bus who
Yeah.
played Nintendogs, so
I
would watch him play
never played
Nintendogs, so-
Nintendogs,
What?
ever.
I basically
When was the
played
earliest you
Nintendogs.
guys got into video games?
Very early. My brother,
Yeah.
because my
Like how
kinda
early?
like so kind of like Gabe. My brother is 9 years older than me, and he was really into video games. So my first console I ever played was the N64 and like the original Game Boy. So I had to have been like 4 or 5 probably when I first started playing video games.
I was 2 years old,
Wow.
and I
Dang.
started with the Sega Genesis.
My parents, when we first started, like, for the longest time, they wouldn't let us play video games because
witchcraft.
They didn't want us to get addicted, because they knew a guy who got like crazy addicted to World of Warcraft. And like
those games are made to be the cause
now
of
look at you now, Gabe.
When I think I would go over to my friend's house, my neighbor's house, and we would play Pokemon on the Game Boy Advance, and we'd play Melee on the GameCube, and a game called Godzilla Destroys All Monsters, which was like a fighting game with Godzilla characters.
I know about that one.
That was a great game.
Yeah.
We should play it on the channel.
Something that I'm actually kind of surprised about with how religious your family seems is that they even let you play Pokemon. Because
my parents weren't that kind of religious people. They were, because like they weren't like all about like the devil is like they let us watch Harry Potter and play Pokemon and all that kind of stuff. But it was more like sexual, violent, and profane content they were trying to not have us get into.
Mm-hmm.
Everything.
I mean, that's pretty understandable, even for like even if a family wasn't to be religious, you wouldn't.
I like that you just said everything that you put out at this point.
And that kind of stuff.
Like literally your whole life, just sexual, profane, and violent content.
Here's an opinion.
There's no repression.
Here's an opinion I can't relate to. Abstaining sex before marriage. I just think that's such a stupid idea.
Yep.
Because, like, what if you're not sexually compatible with the person and now you're stuck with them, or at least legally binded to them until you divorce them?
You're legally binded to that penis.
There's a reason why, especially, I think Utah is one of the highest consumers of BDSM and kink stuff, because of all the repression that exists in Mormonism.
I was expecting you just to say porn, because they're not satisfied with their partners.
There's a ton of porn usage, and also a ton of it is the highest the state that uses the most antidepressants.
Wow.
Damn.
Yeah.
Something that I think that the US should do, something that Japan has done in the last like 5-10 years, is install blue lights outside, because that helps calm people who are like contemplating suicide and whatnot. Yeah, so like the color blue helps calm people. So if there's people like roaming the streets or like thinking about doing something bad, whether it be to like another person or themselves, that helps calm them and like repress like and stop bad thoughts like that.
Interesting.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know
Blue is
that.
the best color. Well, back to Noah's question. I was probably like 4 or 5 when I started getting into gaming. And then when the Wii came out, I think I was like 6 or 7 when I got really into the Wii. And then we had a 360. And then I got a 1 couple years ago now. But yeah. So something that I can't really relate to is donating blood. Can't do that.
Oh, I feel that.
I've never done it.
Feel that.
I tried, but I have 2 different blood clotting disorders, and so like speaking of how fucked up I am, yeah, so I've whenever I have to get like an IV or blood drawn or something, it takes like 15-20 pokes to get it to go through.
Yeah.
I got small veins. Small. I bruise so easily too.
That's so
not
sad.
a fun time. Yeah.
I used to donate plasma to have extra cash.
Yep.
Oh
My
my
ex
God,
did
yeah.
that all the time.
Got that hustle.
Yep.
Yeah, I know a bunch of people that would do that, and like I always wanted to go, but at the same time, I'm just like, it seems like so much work just for a couple, like $50. I don't know.
It takes a while to do.
How is the process of donating plasma different than donating blood?
So donating blood is a lot quicker. They basically will just use a syringe and take out a certain amount of blood. because plasma is the liquid part of the blood, they can take more plasma out than just full blood. So what they will do is they'll hook you up to a machine that has an IV in, and the blood will flow into the machine, and then it will stop for a second, and then it will like separate the red blood cells from the plasma, and then put the red blood cells back into your veins, leaving the plasma behind.
Gross.
Could
That's
never be
like-
me.
That just sounds like so
That's
much.
like double dipping.
Interesting.
Yeah, kind of.
Ew.
Yeah, so I had to get life insurance like really early on. Like I already have it, and a lot of people don't get that till like later in life. And when the lady came over to take my blood, she had a needle and put it in and probably got like a dime size amount when it's supposed to have an entire syringe. And she's like, dang, it's not sucking out anymore. And then she like took the syringe and like flipped it over, and all that blood inside of it had already clotted outside of my body.
God.
Yeah. Isn't that crazy? That's my
insane.
superpower. It's actually
That's
very it's actually
Questions
very
and
dangerous.
Time to join the X-Men.
Yeah, honestly.
Is it
Oh.
so? Like, if you get a cut, does it like heal up really fast?
Yeah, I basically don't bleed. Like I mean I can, but it's actually really bad because the two that I have MTHFR, which the acronym looks like motherfucker, so that's pretty cool.
I guess that's rad.
And then I have factor 5 Leiden, which is like a gene mutation, and then that is the one that's like that I can get like blood clots in my legs or in my lungs, my brain. My sister had a blood clot to half of her brain, so
So that's the one that sucks.
yeah, yep.
Jeez.
Can't relate.
Being normal can't relate.
Honestly, literally.
Are you
Also
related to
can't relate.
Superman? Because Superman can't bleed.
I hope so.
Yeah.
That'd be awesome.
Superman can bleed.
Well, like
Have you seen
it was-
Smallville?
no.
I used to when I was little. I used to watch that.
Yeah.
I don't remember any of it.
I was just
I just
saying
recently watched it.
was that it just reminded me of the Batman quotes, like asking Superman if he can bleed or something like that.
Oh yeah.
From the amazing Justice League, that was Batman
v
vs
Batman
Superman
v
film,
Superman.
And then
which is
also
now getting
something
a
else.
director's cut, an
No,
hour
Justice
extra
League.
of content.
Oh my god.
Justice League is getting.
Oh, yeah,
director's
you're
cut.
right, you're
Batman
right.
v Superman has been left alone.
Batman v Superman is the first and only movie that I've fallen asleep to in the theater.
Amazing.
I don't think I've fallen asleep in any movie in the theater.
Well, Batman v Superman fucking sucks.
Certainly have not.
It sucks so bad. All those movies are just not. Wonder Woman is the only one that's like decent. All the others are just trash.
Aquaman was fun. I liked Aquaman.
People
It's
watched it for
okay.
his body. Let's be real.
Yeah, that's
He's
why
not
I
even
watched
attractive.
it.
Jason Momoa's body.
Wait.
Jeez, James.
No, for real, you
can't
don't think
say
he's
that.
attractive?
I don't think he's attractive.
Oh, I do.
He's a good looking guy.
yeah.
I just thought it was a fun movie. It wasn't like amazing. I had a good time watching it.
Look,
Have you
that
guys seen
version.
Shazam?
Shazam was awesome.
I love Shazam.
But
I
is
actually-
it
I was
part
gonna
of
watch
the,
that later.
like DCEU or whatever?
I haven't seen it.
Say what?
Is it part of
DCU.
like their cinematic universe thing that they have going on or not?
I think so.
Because
think
they
so.
have I think there's another character that's related to like the Shazam character, and it's being played by Dwayne the Rock Johnson.
I know.
Yep, Black
Oh,
Adam.
Black Adam. Yeah.
Yep.
Excited.
If there's just a movie, you guys should just assume I haven't seen it.
Any
That's what
movie
he can
ever.
relate to.
I can talk about it. I just haven't seen it.
I can't relate to watching movies. I haven't seen Star Wars. Haven't
Me
seen
neither.
Lion King. Like,
Yeah, you guys are weird.
like, like
Never.
what? What
I'm
do
just
you,
like you've
what
never
do you
seen
want? Like,
your
I
pa-
haven't seen.
Your
I don't
parents never
watch.
sat you down in front of a TV and just like turned on Lion King.
Question.
Same
No,
with like
that's never
I know
happened.
I've seen I think most of it, but never in one sitting. I don't know. I just can't keep my attention.
You know what's the best Disney movie?
What's up?
Emperor's New Groove.
What?
That is my favorite too.
Yes.
Oh
That
my
is an
god.
amazing movie.
Oh,
It's
I
really
What?
good. I love it.
I
Breaks
say
the
that
fourth
all the
wall off.
time.
Or making me watch it.
I love Emperor's New Groove.
I just watched that not too long ago.
I honestly don't really enjoy a whole lot of those
Disney
movies.
Same.
So every once in a while, like Coco was a good movie.
I haven't seen it.
Really, it's the Pixar movies that I enjoy.
Yep.
But like they don't always like make like I've never seen Frozen and I don't want to see Frozen. But I loved Onward, and Onward was a great movie. I want to watch Soul. I haven't gotten around to watching that yet.
Get around to watching which one?
Soul.
Oh,
I've heard that's really good.
Yeah.
You know what we should make Kristen and Reese do?
What's up?
We should make you guys watch The Lion King 1.5. It's the same movie, but from Timon and Pumbaa's perspective.
That's so funny you say that, because I was thinking about that movie, because I thought that's what you were gonna say when you were like, the best Disney movie. I don't know why my mind went to that.
But
I remember that though.
The Lion
they did
King
it like
1.5
Mystery Science Theater
is arguably better only because it comes from the comic relief's perspective of the movie.
Love it.
Yeah.
No, yeah, agreed. Disney movie Emperor's New Groove, and then Pixar, probably Monsters Inc.
Agreed.
My second
like
birthday
Monsters,
party
Inc.
was Monsters Inc.
Oh,
Nice.
Insert photo here.
The Disney Atlantis,
Editor, throw that
Disney's
in.
Atlantis and Treasure Planet movies
Never seen
were
those.
amazing.
I used to watch those
they're
a
so
lot.
good.
Kind of
They were
turned off
good.
from the art style of those ones.
They're great movies. You should
They made
watch
that
them.
that one chick from Atlantis. Like, watching it back again, I'm like, this is like very sexual
Yeah.
for a
remember
Disney movie.
when they put
I mean, El
dick in
Road to
the
El
Little
Dorado
Mermaid?
was even more sexual.
Yeah, that girl's hot.
Yeah.
With the Little Mermaid, they actually snuck like a boner into one of the characters' like scenes. I think it was like the priest, and then they put a
Yep.
dick straight on like the cover art.
Yup, they did.
Yep.
No,
I think they've since removed him.
Yeah, they
but
have.
that was snuck in there.
Yep.
Dang.
I would like to have been in the executive meeting.
Yeah.
That was decided.
I don't know if that was a meeting,
it
more
was
just
snuck in
like a
there.
couple of the artists being like,
Funny
I wonder
PP.
what we can get away with.
It's like the Invader Zim
Goddamn.
artists sneaking in bloody gore into episodes, where they'd put like a frame of just like gore covered in blood into random scenes, and then people never noticed until it came out as like a DVD box set, and it's rumored that's the reason why the show got canceled.
Really? Mm-hmm. I've never seen that before.
Yeah.
I love Invader Zim.
I've never watched
neither.
that show.
That show is hilarious.
so
It is
good.
so dark.
The movie
But it
that
is
came out a
so
couple years
fun.
ago is extremely good.
Which I haven't seen.
Reese.
Can't relate.
Can't relate.
Not scientifically
Yeah,
possible.
could never be me.
So,
I don't even know what a movie theater is.
oof. So I've got the big story this week, and I thought it might be appropriate
Gabe
with the
has the
topic
big peen this week.
Do tell.
to talk
do tell.
about growing up in Mormonism and then subsequently the story of me leaving Mormonism. So,
Oh, I lost you for a second.
oh, hi, I'm here.
Hi. Hello.
Hi, James.
Hi, Gabe.
Good.
Okay.
Hi. So, I grew up, I was born into Mormonism, born into the church. For those of you who don't know much about Mormonism, it's hard to put into words how involved and overbearing Mormonism is. It's if you don't go to church every week and then throughout the week go to like the different like youth activities and other kind of stuff, it's kind of like looked down on. Like if you're not there every week and then several times during that week, it's something's like, oh, they're going less active.
The
and,
devil's
like,
got him.
The devil's got him. Lucifer.
Lucifer.
and it controls every aspect of your life. It honestly, there are a lot of cult-like tendencies within Mormonism. Like from controlling your diet to having to wear the garments, which are the special underwear that Mormons wear after going into the temple, and requiring 10% tithe to be able to go into the temple.
Wait, you have to wear special underwear?
Yeah, can I interject about that? That's some like Disney World shit. They make their employees wear underwear, like special Disney brand underwear.
Yeah, okay, so basically what this is I always have described it kind of like a yarmulke.
What?
Like, because a yarmulke is supposed to be worn all the time as a expression of your faith and devotion and to the covenants you make, which is what you wear the garments for. Is they're supposed to be a reminder that you made covenants in the temple or promises to God that you're going to live your life a certain way.
Wait, did they check for it?
Right, yeah. Like, how do they know that you are doing that?
That's like sexual harassment.
They don't check for it, no.
Well, then what's the point?
It's between you and God.
Why is God looking at your bits?
Yeah, well, I didn't say Mormonism made sense.
I was sexually harassed by God.
But
yeah,
my autobiography.
Not clickbait. Not clickbait.
I thought you were gonna say they made you wear a chastity belt.
no, but it's it's a whole thing. Like if you go look at pictures of Mitt Romney, you'll see like a little outline under his because it's not just underwear, it's a up top and bottom piece, like a t-shirt underneath. So you'll see like a little
Is it like a singlet?
undershirt.
Yeah, a singlet.
It used to be a one piece, and it used to be full length to your hands and to your feet. But they changed it to a two piece that it was a t-shirt and shorts.
Wait, so Mitt Romney is a Mormon?
Yes, he
I
is.
did not know that.
Yep.
Can't relate.
Can't relate.
See, I wish you would have explained it though, because when you said yarmulke, I was just imagining like two little yarmulkes for both your butt cheeks and then like one on the front. And now this is a lot less cool than that.
No, it's not cool and it's not fun. Like I wore them for how long did I wear them? From 2013 to 2019. So like
6 years.
6 years. They're not the most comfortable things in the world. Anyway, so I grew up in the church. So like we're talking about the church controlling your underwear. Like that's how invasive it is in your life.
Right.
And how much like shame culture also, it really is strong in the church. And I won't really get into the doctrines as much because that's a lot longer of a story and a lot longer discussion. And if there's interest, make a comment. I can make a full video about Mormonism. But like even as a kid, I kind of had doubts here and there because what Mormonism believes, this is going to be really brief, is that the authority to act in God's name or the priesthood was lost after the apostles died, and that Joseph Smith was visited by God and or Jesus Christ and said, hey, every other church is wrong and you're going to be the one to make things right. We're going to give you the priesthood. And then, hey, look, here's these gold plates that are hidden in the hills behind your house. You're going to translate them, and that's going to be called the Book of Mormon. And the Book of Mormon is like the Bible, but it's of the people in Americas.
Can we add the fact that when he was asked to like prove that those golden plates, like that he had them, he told the people they couldn't see them, that only he could see them. And when they asked him to retranslate the Bible, when they took it from him, he retranslated completely different and said that God had a new plan for them or something like that.
Yep. There's all sorts of that kind of stuff. So, growing up, like, I always was like, what if, like, we're not the true church, and like, what if, like, everyone else thinks that they're the true church? Like, what makes us so special, kind of a thing. But I kind of followed the motions. Like, I made some mistakes in terms of Mormon standards growing up. Like I said in a couple episodes ago, like, I had sex in high school, and that caused quite a bit of shame internally. Eventually I just kind of went along with it, and I went on a mission because every boy is expected to go on a mission. Girls are not required to. But if you're a dude and you don't go on a mission, you're kind of shunned a little bit.
Damn.
So I went on a mission, and I went to California, and mission rules were pretty intense. One, I was no longer Gabriel Walker. My name was Elder Walker. Elder is a title. Walker is my last name. You're assigned to a companion and an area, and that rotates several times. But you cannot leave sight or sound of that companion unless you're in the bathroom. Dang. You always have to be within sight and sound of that companion.
That's insane.
Yeah, jeez.
You have to get up at 6:30 in the morning every day. Then at 8 o'clock, you have an hour of personal study. Then at 9 o'clock, there's an hour of companionship study. And then you are expected to go out for the entire day proselytizing, and back by 9 or 9:30, and then in bed asleep at 10:30. You also cannot listen to music. You cannot watch movies. You can't hang out with people. The only thing you could do with the opposite sex is shake their hand.
Huh?
Wow.
Yes.
Hand touching, how lewd.
Yeah. During those times that you were allotted,
Gives high five. Dirty slut.
During the time allotted, what time was your whack time?
Were you even allowed to have a whack time?
I mean, sight and sound, dude. Like, you can't get away with that shit.
Yeah, I guess. Wait, but I thought you said you had an individual study. Like, you still had to be right next to them?
You have to sight and sound.
Except for the
24
bathroom.
hours a day, except for the bathroom.
You guys didn't
Just
go
get a
back
quick
to back?
wank in there.
Just go back to
I mean,
back
some
and wake
people
it.
probably did. But
Sorry,
yeah,
I'm just thinking. I like my story better.
It's crazy strict.
How long were those missions?
2 years.
Oh my god,
Damn.
that's like
Wait,
2
you were-
years of No Nut November.
Wow.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it was 2 years. Also, they've changed the rules since, but you were only allowed to call your family on Mother's Day and Christmas.
What?
You had one day off a week, which was Monday, which you could email them, but you could only call them twice a year.
Why? That's so.
How generous of them.
Yeah.
That's scary.
Yeah.
I'd be so scared. I'd be
wacky,
terrified.
Yeah, like the more I keep talking about this, like the more like how much I realize like this was fucked up. So while I was on my mission, I was not a very obedient missionary. I snuck music. I literally have a binder full of CDs that I burnt using church computers.
Nice.
And like sometimes we would sneak movies. Like we would buy DVDs at like a CVS, like way out of our assigned area, so that no one would see us. Like we'd go and like normal people clothes and like go in the late at night. Though at the near the end of my mission, they put on a GPS tracker on the cars.
What the fuck?
Oh wow.
Yup.
Is that legal?
Yep, because the church owns the cars.
That's
They put
fucked
trackers
up.
on the cars that would tell the church if we were driving bad, or like if we went too fast or went over a bump too
What?
hard or weren't wearing our seatbelt.
Yeah, just a second.
So that's cool. So while I was on my mission, I had a couple experiences where that kind of like really started to crack at my faith. The first one of the things that us disobedient missionaries did was we called they were P-Day Eves. P-Day was our day off, or preparation day was the full name of it. So sometimes we would get together the night before and hang out, literally just play card games or, just hang out. And once the mission president, the old guy that is in charge of all these 19 and 20-year-olds, got wind of it, he gathered us up and he's like, give me your phones, your name badges, and your iPads. We had iPad. We were a test mission for iPads as a mission tool. And then he gave us each a piece of paper, and he said, I want you to write on one side, write a letter to your parents apologizing and explaining why you're being sent home. And on the other side, apologizing to all the people who you basically could have helped by not being sent home. Now, like I said before, if you don't go on a mission, you're shunned. But if you get sent home early, you're even more shunned because you did something bad. So we were all freaking out. And then he proceeds to individually interview us one by one for the entire day. We were basically stuck in a room waiting for our turn. Didn't eat. We were there from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m.
Oh my God.
And were individually interrogated.
How many people?
Probably between 12 and 16.
Yeah.
Jeebus.
Yeah.
How did that go?
Quite a lot. It was terrifying.
Well, like, what did they do? What did they ask?
They asked about like P-Day Eve and like, honestly, I don't really remember the kinds of questions they asked. It's been several years. I just remember the day and just being scared. And
I wouldn't be surprised if like your memories repress that.
Probably. So, but the next day he sent an email apologizing. He's like, I went too harsh, kind of a thing.
You think?
So that was like,
Yeah, for real.
Yeah, cool. Haha, you're a cool guy. So later on, near the end of my mission, there was a higher up kind of regional authority. For all of you ex-Mormons out there, it was a Area 70 that came to visit the mission, and we had these little conferences were in the specific areas within the bounds of our mission. And usually these are pretty standard when like a general authority would visit the mission. And they would give a speech and you pretty standard, usually supposed to be inspiring, but we heard through kind of the grapevine that these were some serious come to Jesus meetings. And when it got to our turn, we were all in a room. There's probably like 50 of us, kind of a thing. And this guy was, he basically had us like, what are like some attributes of good missionaries? And, you know, we would pop off some standard answers. And then after we were done, he's like, I don't see these in any of you. You guys have no faith. You guys are lazy, worthless people. And like I was kind of used to that a little bit by being like a disobedient missionary. Like I never was caught, but like at this time I was like, oh yeah, whatever. But there was a lot of other like obedient missionaries in there that like this really shook them to the core, because like they're trying to do their best, and this guy's like, yeah, you suck. You're worthless essentially. So that left a really bad taste in my mouth. And I had some other experiences with leaders that were just local leaders that were assholes. And
it sounds a lot like college.
So I get home from my mission and I start to get really depressed because I had no idea what I was going to do for the rest of my life. The only thing, the church, you grow up thinking, oh, I'm going to go on a mission. And then you're like, I did that. Now what? You know, and I got really depressed, and like I kind of started wavering from the church. I would pretend to go to church and instead go to a movie. Because I went to a student ward or a student congregation while my parents went to a local one. And after a while, like I met Sam at church, my wife, and she kind of brought me back into it a little bit. We got married in the temple, which is what you're supposed to do as a Mormon. And that getting married in the temple is really weird because only temple recommend holders can go into the temple. So I have a lot of family members who aren't Mormon. They couldn't go into the temple and see me get married.
Damn, that's so sad.
Mm-hmm. Weird.
And that was kind of hard.
Yeah.
And then as time wore on, you know, I kind of went because my wife went. We were given an assignment to teach Sunday school to like 4-year-olds, which actually was kind of fun because 4-year-olds are goofy.
Yeah.
And it was just like, hey, I get to hang out with and like, hey, who's that? That's Dumbledore. Nope, that's Noah. You know. And then like I would see some things on Reddit. I found this thing where this talk where this guy had basically said, you don't necessarily need to follow the church leaders to still have a good relationship with God, which is pretty rare of a statement from someone high up in the church. Mm-hmm. And then the church had him basically re-record that speech and put it out in its place with a different message. So,
Jesus.
Yeah. And like some things like that are like, oh, that's a little weird. And then in 2015, the church had like snuck in a policy into its handbook. It is a digital handbook, and that basically required the children of homosexuals to renounce their parents to get baptized.
That's not okay.
My God.
No, it is not okay. It got quickly rescinded within 2 years, but
that's 2 years too long. It shouldn't even been in there.
Mm-hmm. And so like that was another little crack in the faith. And then what really was like the big where everything just fell apart was when my youngest sibling came out as transgender. She's a male to female trans, and she was pretty open about it at church, and they kind of were supporting a little bit at first, but then she wanted to start wearing clothes that matched her gender identity, and that was when things were they started to really, like, they would like separate her from the other teenagers for Sunday school, and basically said, well, you're making an adult decision, so you have to be with the adults so you don't influence the other teenagers.
What the fuck?
Yeah. So I wasn't happy about that.
Yeah.
And at this point, like, I had a lot of doubts. And I kept on seeing the ex-Mormon subreddit pop up on my suggested subreddits. And I always, never looked at it. And so one night I just decided to, like, I'm going to look at this, 'cause I really don't know how I feel about the church right now. And I look and I set it to like top posts of all time, and I'm just scrolling, and I'm seeing all these rational, logical, historically accurate explanations to issues that I've had in church history, like why Joseph Smith had 34 wives, and like all these things that I didn't know about the church, that like how BYU practiced electroshock therapy in the 60s to change people from being homosexual.
God.
And like I'm scrolling through Reddit, and the most horrible feeling that's like, I've been living a lie for 25 years.
Mm-hmm.
And it was like Neo leaving the Matrix and like really seeing, holy shit, this is insane what my life has been. So I kind of like started listening to some podcasts and try to really delve into like the true history of what Mormonism is. And it is not what they teach in Sunday school. They hide things, they lie, and in the end, I decided I'm done. And my wife had a harder time with me leaving, but she was supportive, and it was happenstance that my dad also decided to leave at the same time that I did. And my siblings had been kind of on their way out too.
Mm-hmm.
So really at this point, it's been about a year and a half since I left. Pretty much none of my family goes to church anymore. My mom and I and my dad, we all drink alcohol and drink coffee, which were all big no-nos you can't do as a Mormon. And I have to say that I am happier than I've ever been in my life leaving Mormonism.
I'm proud of you.
I'm glad. Yeah.
Very happy.
Yeah.
Well, I'm happy I get to drink with you.
I know, it's so much fun.
Honestly,
Gabe.
best part, to be fair.
Gabe, you should plug your Gaslighted video and your other podcast.
Oh yeah. So if you check out my channel on Facebook, on YouTube, I have a gaslighted video. I talk a little bit about that. That was much more in depth of what I talk about in that other video.
Mm-hmm.
But I started a podcast like 7 months ago. It's called an Ex-Mormon's Guide. I have only put out 3 episodes of that, but if you want to check that out, that's going to be kind of the basics of like how to survive a faith crisis, how to like coffee 101, that kind of stuff.
Gabe, I'm really upset that you didn't name it Gabe's Declassified Ex-Mormon Survival Guide.
I should have done that.
Really?
Why didn't you
Yeah.
bring this up when he was
Rebrand.
first like in the planning phases,
Yeah.
James?
I don't.
Yeah, James,
I guess
you should have thought of that.
I don't know. I guess it's been on my mind lately.
Yeah. yeah, so that was how I left the church, and probably more about Mormonism than you care to know. But if people want me to make more content about Mormonism, I'm more than happy to do so.
Are you planning on continuing your podcast?
Probably eventually, once I have time.
Yeah.
Cool.
No,
It's a lot. It's really hard.
Time is a fuck.
It's hard because like it's a podcast just with me, and I'm talking for half an hour straight about a subject that.
I mean, you just.
But like it's about a subject I have to research. You know.
Mm-hmm.
So. But no, I love I love listening to all your stories from it, and then, honestly, I mean, the more you tell, like, you know, the experience of it is like so it's so personal to you, but like I feel like it really does relate to, like, and I don't know if this is getting like too controversial for the podcast, but like it does relate to like a lot of different religious, you know, based groups and stuff like that. You know what I mean? Like maybe not like this, like Mormonism sounds like it was very
strict,
rigorous, and strict. But I mean, there's still a lot of those same kind of concepts, just like hidden religions a little bit more. Yeah.
Like,
yeah, I feel like Mormonism is an in-between of a cult and a religion.
Yeah.
That because of its size and longevity has been legitimized.
Right.
I think like another thing
it's so weird
to consider, like doing that kind of podcast, you never know if it's going to have the same effect on someone else that subreddit had on you.
Yeah.
And I don't know if you've posted it there, but maybe you should post it there.
Yeah. Post what there?
The podcast on the ex-Mormons subreddit.
Oh yeah, I did post it there once. Yeah. I could plug it again. I probably would wait until I have more content though. Yeah. Sorry for like a really heavy story, because that was
you're fine.
That was a
literally every single one of our stories have been heavy so far. We're like dark in some way.
Yeah, that's true.
What's wrong with us?
Just like
I mean, you just had people's fingers getting cut off and stuff.
Oh yeah, that story. Oh.
I'm just talking about like our individual stories at the end of each podcast.
Oh, like yeah.
Yeah. Well,
I thought you were gonna do your zombie noise because I did it.
I'll do the zombie noise. So good.
There it is, fellas.
Like and subscribe.
Just end the podcast on that. Everybody. Don't even do an outro.
That's our outro. Just yow.
I don't know if you can hear, but the cat is just she's listening right now. She's just up at the computer.
That's great. I think we're done, right?
Oh,
hello.
Well, yeah. We
do you want to sign off or no?
We should probably do an actual sign off.
Yeah. It's.
I mean, we can.
Like and subscribe, like gamers. Hit that, smash that,
smash
the
that like button.
Ding ding.
Thanks for watching, gamers. Remember to smash that like button and absolutely eviscerate that subscribe button and
destroy that bell.
Don't forget to hit that bell like it owes you money. And I'll see you next time, gamers. Until then, remember to subscribe to the personal channels as well, and donate to the Patreon and OnlyFans.
If you don't subscribe tonight, I will kill this cat.
Oh my god!
And go follow my Instagram. If we hit 5 likes on the video, I will personally eat an entire jar of pickles.
Shout out to the show on my little cousin.
Sweet dreams. Let the bedbugs eat you in your sleep. Bye.
Good morning.
Subscribe.